Hey everyone, Chris Ward here, and I want to give you a brief tour of Brookside subdivision here in Raymore. It's a family-friendly subdivision, about 390 properties. That's right off of Lucy Webb, which runs parallel with 58 Highway that runs through both Belton and Raymore. There's about 390 properties. Most of them are going to be split entries, but you do have a fair amount of the California splits, front-to-back splits, which are going to be the larger split entry homes. And then you have a lot of ranches and a few reverse story and a halves, of course, are going to be the premium properties in the subdivision. There still is new construction going on, so we have a pretty wide price range, ranging from 150s all the way up to the 280s if you look back over the past year in this subdivision. One thing that's really unique is that there's definitely a very strong demand for properties in this subdivision. Almost on average, almost one a month sells, which is definitely an active subdivision considering that there's almost 400 properties. What's interesting is that there's only about 3 properties right now as of today on the market. So we're definitely in need of good properties to sell. We're definitely down on inventory, and just like supply and demand, basically prices are also the highest they've ever been resale in the history of Raymore. So exciting times if you're a seller. About 1 property sells per month, so like I said, very active. But what's also interesting about that is we look at all the resale in Raymore, the average day on market is 47. If we look at the subdivision Brookside and average that out, looking back over the past year, it's actually lower than the city's average. It's the subdivision is 37, but my personal day on market, personally, because how I choose to market homes for the clients that choose to hire me to get the job done for them, my personal day on market this year is 26 days, so they sell a whole lot quicker. And what's interesting is they're actually selling for more money. So let's go ahead and start the tour of this subdivision. So over here we have the villa part of the subdivision. Like I said, total in this subdivision there's about 390 properties. We have about 4 or 5 streets over here where you have the very low maintenance, mostly stone and brick exterior as well as vinyl siding ranches. The majority of them are going to be 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. The majority of them are going to be 2-car garage. Occasionally you'll see a 3-car garage, and those ones sell typically $7,000 to $10,000 higher than a 2-car garage, for example. This kind of gives you an idea. Everything is pretty much very well maintained over here. People keep up their yards very well. Very family friendly. Pretty social subdivision. Constantly you'll see, especially when the weather is not quite as warm as today, you'll see a lot of people walking on the sidewalks. Sidewalks go all the way through this subdivision, and there's actually walking trails. That's part of Raymore. It's about 1:28 p.m. on Thursday, a weekday, and a FedEx truck just drove by. So it looks like if you're expecting a FedEx package, they typically come around 1:30 would be my guess. So now we're getting over to where you could see the majority of the subdivision is split entries. So we have a few split entries there. Then over here looks like we have a front to back split on this corner. This is a cul-de-sac lot. Then we have a ranch styled home. Another either front to back split or a California split. The prices, just so you know, over the past year range between $150,000 all the way up to about $280,000. There is still new construction going on in this subdivision. Most of the new construction that's going on in the subdivision would be found over on it would be the southwest corner of the subdivision. And there's not very many lots left, probably only just a handful at best. This is a very active subdivision. Over the past year, 40 properties have sold. So almost 1 a month. That's definitely a very active subdivision, especially considering that there's 390 properties. Over here you'll find the pool. This is a very busy spot, but not super crowded, but definitely an active, popular spot in the subdivision. It is exclusive to the residents of Brookside subdivision here. They do have it shut down for the season. But you see they have a pop machine. They have a very nice cast iron fence around it to keep everybody safe. The street right in front of us here is Brookside Parkway, or Brook Parkway. It's a main street. It runs north and south through the subdivision. Looks like we have another California split, more split entries. I'd say about 80% of this subdivision, if not more, is definitely going to be split level type of homes. Front to back splits, split entries, California splits. This subdivision is right off of Lucy Webb and Raymore, which runs parallel with the main strip that runs through the area, which is 58 Highway. So Lucy Webb is where you gain access to this subdivision. So you see it's a very well maintained subdivision, pretty well manicured. And all these streets that you see up here, these are all cul-de-sac streets, so nice and private. You can have up to 6-foot privacy fences in this subdivision. I hope that gives you some helpful information about one of the subdivisions here in Raymore. Again, this is Brookside subdivision and Villa of Brookside subdivision right here in Raymore. What's interesting about this subdivision, let me check real quick. The average day on market in Raymore for resale as of today is 47 days. But if we look back over the past 12 months in Brookside here, the average day on market is only 37 days. So we can see that there's definitely a demand of properties in this subdivision. Right now there's only 3 active properties on the market, and the price ranges range from the 150s all the way up to about 250, 260. So that's a pretty broad range. But if you have a property in the subdivision, especially if it's a split entry or definitely a ranch, and you're thinking about making a move anytime in the next few years, I would be glad to sit down with you and discuss what your home could be worth. I think it's one of those things, a lot of people are always just kind of curious about what their neighbor's house is selling for and what property values are. I would love to share that with you, absolutely no obligation. You could always reach me on my cell phone at 816-588-9401. And you can check out my website anytime at your convenience at chriswardrealestate.com. And I'm excited to share this information with you. Resale value in Raymore is now officially the highest ever that it's ever been in the history of Raymore. So really great news, especially if you're looking to sell a property anytime in the near future. Again, Chris Ward Real Estate. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye for now.